Hi, I'm JJ Conway, and I help hardworking women and a few good men build financial confidence and take ownership of their financial future. I'm cheering you on with education on financial literacy, smart investments, and passive income streams. Welcome to Ladies of Wealth. I'm back. I'm back. I had a lovely trip. I did learn some value in appreciating. I learned some value in appreciating my body and my strength. And even though my body's not where I want it to go, I'm thankful that it can carry me upstairs. I'm thankful that I have strength to haul luggage. I'm thankful that I have the presence of mind, despite my injuries and despite the long-term impact of those series of car accidents. I thank the Lord that I have the mind to be able to travel and to be able to come home safely and to help others. So we'll just leave it at that. But it was a lovely trip, and with a fabulous organization, the National Association of Black Military Women. And I'll tell you all about that later. But I am so overdue on lessons and information because, like, in my mind, I had it all set up, y'all. I had everything for the last couple of weeks to be auto and replay, and it was gonna be all right. But then I get back and log into my system, and it says you have not emailed people in over a month, and I'm like, no. Because if you don't email people enough, it dings your scam ratings, okay? And so it messes up your scam. So anyway, I want to tell you about a new scam that's going around, and I also want to answer some Q&A because we didn't do that last week. And well, it's only going to be one Q&A, but I'm pretty sure my answer is going to be fairly long. Like, that's probably going to be a whole Ladies of Wealth episode. And if you are listening to this on the Ladies of Wealth podcast, I would encourage you to come join us live on Thursdays. Now, we may be moving that to the daytime. I've been considering that for a couple months. We're going to test the waters and see what happens. But if you're listening to the podcast, I encourage you to join us live, because then you can ask your questions live and you can get your questions answered, and you can participate and help shape the direction of the show. And sometimes I even allow people to come on live on camera or audio so that they themselves can ask their question live. And if you have a business or anything like that, we can talk about your business, get you a little plug, right? Wait, that did not come out right. Plug your business. It's interesting how I learned some new words this week, and that wasn't one of them. But I learned some new words, some new meanings to existing words. It's like, wow, every year they find a new way to tell people who's old and who isn't. Okay, but first, I want to talk to you about a new scam. That's right. There is a new scam you need to be aware of. And let me pull this scam up for you. There is a scam. Extra camera. Oh, that's a cool feature. When did that come in? Sorry, y'all. There's a new scam that share screen. That's what I wanted. There is a new scam that's going around with these rings. And I want to give a shout out to this TikTok user, Nina Rome 777. I had downloaded or screen captured or something her video, but then I couldn't find it. So I pulled this screenshot from an NBC article that actually used her video. But what's basically happening out there, y'all, you receive a cheap but pretty adjustable ring in the mail, along with some business cards and a QR code to scan to learn more about who sent it and why. Now, if I was to receive something like this, I am a little wary of scams, so I might type the information into my Google rather than scan the QR code. But still, I would want to know who sent me this ring, right? Unfortunately, many who have scanned the QR code discovered that it took them to a link that then installed malware on their computer. And others have reported that it gave scammers automatic access to their bank information, although That's probably not what happened. We do want to be aware because unless they actually put their bank information into a web form on that page, what's more likely and what you want to be aware of is that the sites probably installed monitoring software on their phone or computer, and then it monitored so that the next time you use your bank app, it scrapes the information from your login and then sends that to the scammers. Now, my bank says whenever I try to screenshot it, we don't allow screenshots. But you know what? When I was on the Zelle screen the other day, and y'all know I have a love-hate relationship with Zelle. Everybody loves Zelle because the money goes right to their account. But this gal does not like Zelle because Zelle has been implicated in so many scams. And they even tell you, you send this money, you can't get it back. Make sure you're sending it to the right person, right? I have seen when I've gone to conferences, there are people who make their names on Zelle and Cash App and all this stuff so close to what the big name person has. And you can find you. I don't know if y'all knew this. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it real quick. You can me and the AT&T dude, who was a wonderful salesperson. We sat down for about 20 minutes and went through number after number after number after number to find a number, and I would put each one into the Ninja dialer and see what it spelled. Right, and so I do that, and I recommend that you do that when it comes to your number for your business. So because mine is 254-454 hope for my business line, right? And so I love that number. Isn't that a great number? 454 hope for hope. Yeah, I love it, right? But you can do the same with other numbers. And so what these people are counting on is that you fat finger in something wrong and they get your money and they don't have to give it back. All right. So, but what's happening with this ring scam? Let me pull a picture up for those of you just joining us. What's happening with this ring scam is that malware or spyware, depending on the version of the ring scam that you get, is being installed on your computer when you scan that QR code and you go to their website. Okay. So a couple things I want to cover on this. I know it's going to be a lot, but you need to be aware. I need you to be aware because scams, especially in these economic times, are becoming worse and worse. You go on websites like Reddit and half the posts are actually bot posts that they post things automatically and using bot software. And then when they get enough followership, then they start doing nefarious things, the P word, other things that I think my son's listening to there, so I'm not gonna, say some of these things out loud, but they start funneling you into this other stuff. And because so many of us are stressed out, so many people are in anxiety mode, so many people are in fear mode right now, it's a very quick switch to boop over into something you shouldn't be doing. So when it comes to the mail, receiving things in the physical mail, there's three things that I want to cover real quick. Okay. First of all, we're going to talk about your obligation to respond to the mail that you received, but you didn't order. Okay. Then we're going to talk about 7 ways that malicious links install software, sometimes without you even knowing it. Ooh, it operates in the background. The best ones operate in the background and you don't even know it. So you don't do anything about it. We're going to talk about 5 ways to protect your computer from malware and zombification. Okay, that's a new thing that's come out. And we're going to talk about those things. And then we're going to talk about what to do if you get one of these packages. Actually, let me go ahead and mention that now, but we're going to cover it in more depth later. All right. If you get a package mailed to you that you did not order, are you required to pay for it? Now, y'all, this is so interesting to me because back in the day, I used to see this with books or CDs. Someone would send me a book and then they'd say, thank you for your order. Please pay blah, blah, blah. Because, back in the day, you used to be able to order stuff and not pay for it till it came. I don't know who else is on there today is my age or older. This definitely does not apply to my son's age group, but in my age group, you could order something, you would get it, and then you'd have 30 days to send them their money, right? Like we would never do that today. You'd never get your money, right? But back in the day, they would send books, they would send CDs, they would send all kinds of things. They mail you a thing, a mug, a t-shirt, whatever. They bill you, and then some even say, you haven't paid us, we gonna sue you. But actually, you don't have to pay for it if you didn't order it. Okay. Some people today are receiving random Amazon packages this day. No, you are not required to pay for it. By law, if somebody sends you something like it's addressed to you and you didn't request or pay for it, you didn't say you were going to pay for it. You didn't sign up to pay for it. You didn't attempt to pay for it. You didn't buy now, pay later for it. You have no obligation to pay for it. Now, if you get somebody else's mail, you get somebody else's Amazon package, I'm so sorry, but you cannot keep it. You're not even supposed to open it. And technically, y'all, it is a federal crime to open up somebody else's mail. Opening or destroying mail that's addressed to somebody else, it's actually a crime called obstruction of correspondence. And it can be a serious felony that could lead to 5 years in jail. So if you get mail addressed to somebody else, don't throw it away or shred it. Okay. Not only is it illegal, and let's face it, we are at a critical time in our nation's history where the last thing we want to do is give anyone an excuse to send us to jail. Okay? The last thing you want to do is trip some arcane law that nobody ever pays attention to anymore. And you open up or shred somebody else's junk mail because you know what? It's junk mail and you don't want them, you don't want your information out there. And so you're going to scam that millionth credit card offer. You're going to shred that. Oh, you don't want to give anyone an excuse to send you to jail. Okay? So that's concern number 1, all right? But also, by ignoring mail sent to your address for somebody else, it could result in squatting scams, identity theft, or at worst, deed theft. Y'all, I'm not going to go deep into it here because I really want to stay on topic with this ring in the mail scam. Okay, that's what we're talking about. For those of you just joining us, we're talking about the ring in the mail scam. And if you are listening to this as part of the Ladies of Wealth podcast, I encourage you to go out to YouTube and you can actually see a graphic of a TikTok user, Nina Rome 777, who did a really good video on the ring scam. Okay, so if somebody, well, just real quick, if people are sending their insurance, their bills, or other correspondence to your address, they could, now, they may not be, it could be that they moved, it could be that they're older. I've got one older gentleman, and it's funny because now I'm in my 50th year, right? So I'm going to be 50 next month, and old is not so old anymore. But there's one older gentleman who somehow he writes everybody's box number. And I don't know if he just forgets or if it's just entertaining to him or what, but we're all getting his mail. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about here. But when somebody's got their credit card offers, their employment information, their insurance information, anything legit like that to your address, they could possibly use that postmarked mail as proof of residency, and that can wreak havoc on your life, including saying your home is actually their home and identity theft. Okay. So what should you do if you receive mail for someone else? The U.S. Postal Service website, it asks that you write "not at this address" on the envelope. And I meant to bring one in here to show you, but I don't have one, so I'll just draw it out for you. Okay. I'll just draw it out for you. So if you've got the envelope and it's got their information on it, okay? What I do, they ask you to write "not at this address" and either put it back in your mailbox, which I personally would not do, because if somebody's sending mail to my house on purpose, I need to make sure they don't go through my mail and pull it out when I say "not at this address." You feel me? All right. But they want you to write "not at this address." And I like to actually put a physical line through that so it's very clear what we're talking about here. Nobody can finagle that. Okay. But you don't want to obstruct the address. Like you don't want to scribble through it. You don't want to scribble through it or anything, okay? You just want to put a line, but you don't have to put a line, but put not at this address, okay? And so you don't want to cover up the address because otherwise they can't do anything about it. Okay, but if you do that, when it gets back to them, they do some machinations to like scan it in and keep it on record. And if the if the business that sent it has a forwarding service requested, they'll ping back to them and say this address is bad. I mean, that company's still going to send it to you anyway, but legally it helps you recover if somebody does try to steal your information. Okay, so now let's talk about the ring. Okay, if you get one of these rings and it is addressed to you, all right, please, sir, please, ma'am, don't scan the QR code or access any of the links it sends you to. It's most likely a brushing scam. Now, brushing scam is a relatively new term. It comes in two flavors, okay? The first flavor we kind of already talked about. It links you to a website that installs malware or trackers or some such onto your computer, okay? That's one type of brushing scam. Another type of brushing scam, if done through Amazon, could be someone's attempt to send you poor product and then use your info to write a review as if they were you. So if you receive this kind of brushing scam item, then the Federal Trade Commission recommends you change your passwords on all your online shopping because somehow somebody got into your account. You want to check your credit weekly if you use credit cards to look for identity theft, and you don't want to contact the sender, okay? This is kind of like with all those spam phone calls and spam texts. The minute you reach out to them directly, guess what you've just done? You've let them know that you are a real live person. And guess what they want to do? They want to hit you with more, hoping you'll fall prey to it and give them the money the access they need to clean you out. We don't want that, all right? So don't contact the sender, all right? My recommendation with the ring or other items you didn't order from Amazon, throw it away, okay? Now, there is a scam on Amazon that is using your account to send you luxury items. Now, that's a whole different thing. You got to lock your account down quick and make sure you pay attention to your charges so you can file your affidavit that you didn't really spend that, okay? But if it's something where somebody else sent it to you and they're just wanting you to review it or they're trying to scam you to pay it, just throw that stuff out, okay? The only exception to that rule of the unexpected gifts is the mystery seeds from China. Y'all, the mystery seeds from China are back. If you get some mystery seeds from China or anywhere else, do not open them. Do not plant them. And if you already planted them, please, by all means, do not eat anything that grew from them. Hopefully you'd already heard of that, so you didn't. But save the mailing envelope and the seeds and give them to your nearest USDA, county extension program, parish, agricultural resource, whatever your local jurisdiction calls the people that deal with nuts, seeds, trees, plants, and all those things, okay? The people that deal with kudzu and other invasive species, you want to give that stuff to them. They're going to inspect it, and then they'll destroy it, okay? All right, but if it's a ring, a toy, some kind of tchotchke, just throw it out, okay? There's some people that are concerned there could be tiny cameras hidden in those things. And me, I'd be concerned about what is in the alloy of that ring. Like, is it, I already have expensive skin. Y'all, I just found out I had a doctor appointment yesterday. Good numbers. We'll talk about that on my next walk. Good numbers. Making progress, but I just found out that what I thought was acne was actually a fungal infection. And I know I came back from the desert with a fungal. A lot of military people do. They come back from the desert with a fungal infection, and then you're fighting it the rest of your life, But what I thought was acne was actually fungal. Okay, and so I wouldn't wear. Even if my husband bought it for me, I wouldn't wear one of them rings anyway, because if it's adjustable like that, it probably has something in it that's going to break me out, right? But there are people that's concerned that there's monitoring devices in those things. And regardless, I'm just because no one's verified that doesn't mean it's not true, okay? So throw that stuff out. Don't follow the links, all right? If y'all haven't seen the New Ladies of Wealth page, please go out there and see the New Ladies of Wealth page. And you can leave me, you can apply to speak. You can leave me a voicemail. Like, you can just click a button. You don't even have to use a phone. You don't have to give me your number. You just leave it, click, and say your thing and click. You don't even have to give me your name or your email or none of that. You just boop, do it. Okay. And you can ask your question the traditional way with a form, and you can give a review. I think I took the reviews down because I had too many things. You can do your ask question. You can take a class. You can do all kinds of things, y'all, on the ladiesofwealth.com. Okay. I do want to remind everybody about our group coaching. So if you're listening to us on the Ladies of Wealth podcast, I encourage you to join us Thursday nights again. Get your questions answered at no cost with each class. If you want to get your questions answered in a more private environment, you can join our group coaching program for $49 a month. I am currently not taking any more one-on-one clients because I'm already full of one-on-one clients, and you know, I had one slip in on me last year when I wasn't taking anybody, and then I opened it up and got some new ones, and then I closed it back. I think we've locked that down, because when people slip in like that, I don't necessarily have the capacity to serve them with the excellence that I want. So we try not to open it up unless I know I can serve you, and give you what you paid for. And I do my best with everything that I do, but like, I don't want that extra stress. My family wants their mom. So we really put a limit on it. But anybody can come to group coaching. And usually, to be honest with you, usually we've only got about 4 or 5 people in there, maybe 1 or 2. Some days we got 1 or 2. Like, there's been days where it's 1 or 2 people, and each one of those ladies gets like half an hour of personalized coaching, because that they would have paid $500 for, but they're the ones who chose to show up. They invested their time into themselves, and they got the blessing. So you can get the blessing too. You can go to jjclink.com/group. jjclink.com/group. Don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and ask your question at ladiesofwealth.com.